Welcome back to another brand spanking new episode of The Order of the Blazing Horse, the only Detroit Pistons podcast based on a mystical prophecy. I am one of those prophets touched by a horse, given the fortune, given the future, told the tale that Detroit would return to the top if we started a podcast. We were in denial, but yo, here we are.
Look at us now.
Witch's trial, right? Look at us. Get the hot sauce out. Harry Morrow's out here in the oopsie part of town, joined as always by my co-host with the most as smooth as butter on your breakfast toast. You take a little rye? You a little rye guy?
A little marble rye, maybe a little jam on that thing, a little butter. Mickey Jacobs here, here in the valley heat. It's hot. It's hot right now.
Is it?
It's warm. Yeah, it's already. We 2 days of winter, and now it's back to bacon. But I'm not the only thing that's hot. The Detroit Pistons sans Cade Cunningham are, dare I say, sizzling?
Sizzle. Baconed up. Super sizzling. And Richard DM for it. Shout out to you in the chat. Says, DJ is back. Glad he's breaking out of that rookie wall stretch. Pistons are going to need his clutchness in the playoffs. I will say this, even in his little slump, he still showed up in the clutch when they needed him to, from time to time. Like in that overtime game that they won, he still showed up against Cleveland, I think, to get them there and whatnot. So the clutch has never gone away. But
the defense has always been pretty good too. I will say, like, it's really just kind of been the scoring. And like some of the decision making, but we're so back.
Oh my God.
The Jankyard dog has been unchained.
Oh my God, my guy. Shot out of a cannon, his own words. We're happy to see it because the dude can play. Daniss Jenkins becomes the fifth Piston on the season to score 30 points in a game. Mickey, can you name the other four?
Cade Cunningham.
That's one.
Jalen Duren.
That's two.
Oh boy. Daniss Jenkins. I don't think it was Tobias.
No.
I'll say no, not Tobias. Did Paul Reed have a 30?
Paul Reed is one of them.
Yeah. Big Paul. Shout out to Paul University. The DePaul University. God, who's the last one? I want to be able to pull it. Someone who cooked. It wasn't Asar. What was it? Stu?
It's Stu.
Wow! All five.
Our two true point guards and our three centers are only 30-point scorers this year. Yeah, never in a million years would I have guessed that those would be our 30-point scorers on the season, but here we are, and good for them.
I didn't cheat Richard DM for it. I did not. I want to say he posted that after.
He posted it before, but you weren't looking at it. I was not looking.
I was searching the recesses of my memory.
And I'm happy he scored 30 because, like, coming into last night's matchup, I was a little bit worried when the NBA rescinded Luka's technical to play against the Cadeless Pistons to keep this Lakers streak rolling. Richard believes you, by the way. Because the Lakers are on a heater. They're on 9 in a row, looking like contenders again, like hanging out solely in third place in the Western Conference. But you come to Detroit, you'll get bit by the dogs, my guy. And that's just what happened. Yeah, Luka put up 30. Yeah, Austin Reeves put up a ton of points. But when it came down to the battle between the guys at the end of the game, Daniss took it to both of them. And I mean, Luka shot like 3 of 13 from deep. In like 11 of 29 or something. He did end up with 30 points, but like not on efficiency. Chucking indeed. Reeves with a fair share of like turnovers kind of when he was getting double teamed. And like Daniss just showed up. Mickey and I were joking earlier that Daniss hadn't hit a mid-range jumper since like 1992 up until that. And last night that won him the game. That baseline midi won them the game. Those clutch free throws won him the game, not to mention 8 assists, 4 rebounds. Like, the dude has been...
2 turnovers?
Just 2 turnovers.
So good.
The dude's been balling out in the starting role.
It was a Cade-esque game. It was a great Cade game.
Yeah.
I think any of us would be stoked if he put up those stats on that efficiency.
He'd be getting MVP chance. Like, if Cade had those stats, that efficiency at the free throw line in those moments, we would be hearing MVP. Instead, we're getting 3-1-3. DJ.
Yeah,
Bring
that's
it
my
on
DJ.
back.
Yeah.
Oh, DJ. That's my DJ. Also, shout out to Jalen Duren. I think 10 of 10 from the free throw line.
Also, Jalen perimeter defense Duren.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Sliding the puppies. That's what he said. He's like, just don't leave your feet, slide the puppies, stop the shot or something like that.
Dude, is there a team that's like funnier and has better turns of phrase? I was just even thinking about like Daniss describing himself as being shot out of a cannon. He's got all these amazing sound bites too about just the shit
insanity
he takes.
To me.
Yeah,
it's insanity to me.
It's insanity to me. Nasty dogs. Like he's just banger after banger. They're dropping bars for sure.
And you are right about the perimeter defense. It was exceptional, like really, really good for a guy who gets dinged by every fan about how he's so bad at covering stretch fives. Team-wide problem, by the way, team-wide problem. The end of game defense was sensational, like really, really incredible. Plus the huge rebound on top of it. Jalen Duren over this Cadeless stretch has also been like absolutely beast mode. Draymond Green recently said that Jalen Duren is the strongest player in the NBA, and it's kind of looking like it. The guy is an absolute monster. He's a wrecking ball.
Yeah. No, look, we were talking about it with Brian last time, just like he's looking all NBA, but it's really it's a huge reason why the Pistons are 8-2 without Cade now. And he just is deciding to take over, and it's now having not just Cade, but like anytime there's a great player on a team, they create gravity. It creates opportunity for other people. And you're seeing that with Duren. And I think the go-to for the team has been just feed the big man. And when that doesn't work out, they start swinging that thing.
Mm-hmm. Bro, let's give it to another unsung hero. Swing it over to Javonte Green, who's shooting 37% from three, who's shooting pretty damn good from the corners. I think it's like almost 50% on the corner three. Like the dude's defense is awesome. Always good for a transition, like slam and steal.
The hands are they're active.
Oh my Lord, man. And like, it's just nice to have guys who show up and like, little shout out to Karis LeVert. Hair is LeVert yesterday. Let the braids out, really froed out. He has some stuff that frustrates you, but he had some buckets really to start the game last night. He didn't end up playing down the stretch, which I think most fans are relieved about. And shout out to Duncan Robinson too, dude. Duncan going nuts. Just so friggin' sick with it from three. I'm loving what this team has to offer. I was a little worried when Cade went down that this team would kind of crumble because we've been going through that little slump. But I think that's all that was. I think it was just a slump. I think it was just a little post-All-Star aberration. And now this team's back, baby. What have you liked about this squad?
I've just liked, first of all, just the when Asar went down, the defensive, just the defense got worse. The defense got worse, not just in terms of, being able to lock guys down, but just communication. Just felt like there were a lot of miscues. They weren't playing as together. And I just think that it was an adjustment. It was our first 4-game loss streak in over a year or something like that.
Yeah. Since the start of last season. The first 4 games last season.
Yeah. But with Cade going down, it's different just because that completely changes the shape of the team. And I agree. I was worried at first, but it's really been cool to see how they've all just adapted to, this isn't just a couple games. This might be a stretch. Like this could be through and into the postseason. So we're going to have to figure this out if we don't want to A, fumble the first seed, and B, have a first round exit potentially. And I just love the fight. I love the movement.
Oh yeah. Tobias been getting assists, dude. He's averaging like 5 assists a game since Cade went down.
Yeah, I think the stepping up has been consistent across the board. I think everyone's been, and like, by the way, Stu's been out too. You almost forget just because it's been so long, and it's not been so long, but it's just been the case, and
overshadowed by the two emptiness.
Sure, Sasser too, but Paul Reed's been great too, like just proving that he's as good a backup center as any. And yeah, everyone's stepping up. Sometimes like Karis had that nice game a couple games ago, It's a
Washington,
little
back-to-back Washington double-digit games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still up and down with him. You know, there's still like two really bad turnovers in the Lakers game. But then you're like 4 assists. So
the assists look nice. My big concern with Karras right now is some shot selection stuff, because some of the shots are questionable to say the least.
Whose shot selection did you like more in that game? Karis LeVert's or Luka Doncic's?
I guess Karras, because there were fewer problems.
Size.
Yeah. So for
volume.
I mean, Luka got his, but the last 2 shots that Luka took in the final bit of that game. And by the way, the Lakers had the best clutch record in the NBA. They were 22-5 going into that game. The Pistons were like 25-12, something like that, 25-10. I don't remember exactly, but like not as good a record. But it was like the Lakers, the Thunder, the San Antonio Spurs, the Pistons, and I think the Magic are like the top 5 teams in the clutch. And in this case, I just think the better team won out. But that's a tough thing to do when they got 3 dudes who can score the ball in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic and LeBron James, who was held scoreless in the first half for the 3rd time in his entire career. That is insane.
This Pistons team, they're real streak breakers this season. Yeah. This is the 3rd big streak. There was who else was there? There was the Knicks. What was the other one? Who else did they stop? There was another big streak. Come on, Richard DM for it. Hook us up.
He says going to the game, they were tied with 24 single-digit wins as well. I guess the tie is broken. Yeah. What other streaks got busted? Did they bust the Charlotte streak? That's right.
Yeah, I knew he'd pull it.
He's good with it.
Who needs Google when you got Richard DM for it? And if you want to be like Richard DM for it, and you should.
Wrong one.
That's not a thing that's happening.
I'll get it back. Sorry.
Right.
Whatever. If you're
ring
listening,
that bell for notifications. Tell a friend. We're on that word of mouth kick right now.
Boom. There it is.
If you like the kind of thing we do, someone else you know might as well, and they might not. They might hate it, but you don't know unless you share it with them.
They should like it. They should like it.
I think so.
And
I'm biased.
You know what else you should like? You should like this Pistons defense, because like I was just saying about like Javonte Green, you got to give him some shout out, and we're giving shout out to Paul Reed, and we talked about Daniss' defense a little bit. The defense from Ausar Thompson, like you were saying, when he was gone, it was rough. With him back, Ausar, I low key think Ausar, outside of Victor Wembanyama, might be the best defensive player in the NBA.
Yeah, even when it doesn't show up on the box score with because I think there was only 2 stocks in that game, he's just so disruptive. And as Mark Windsor was talking about on Pulse, the best screen navigator, Sean. Oh boy,
it's okay.
Oh boy. Don't tell him I said that. Sean Windsor, of course, talking about his screen navigation, and it's so great. And it's like
there isn't even a screen there.
No,
he gets around it.
It's like when I think you were bringing this up, how they trained the Thompson twins trained ballet. Like he gets up on his tippy, like he's really like the balance is crazy.
Star Black Swanson.
Yeah. I feel like you're Jesus Christ superstar. I like that.
Should have got more love. I gotta say, coming from Jews, no less.
Yeah. Seriously.
How dare he? But yeah, the defense is not like slithering around those screens. It's like in the first X-Men movie where they turn that senator to like kind of a liquid mutant, and he like pushes through the bars to get into the water. That's Ausar. He's able to get.
He's like water.
Yeah. He's like water.
It's interesting with the Pistons and the Lakers. Like that's a very storied rivalry that goes back a long time. And it's such a offense versus like pure offense versus pure defense. And it is pretty cool. And just star power versus just
working class.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gives me a win like that gives me an opportunity to wear my all-time favorite piece of Pistons merch. ever. Okay,
We beat LA.
There's nothing better than wearing this in LA to a bowling alley full of Lakers fans. I will say, there's nothing. It's so delicious. This shirt is older than I am.
It's looking crispy though.
It's nice.
Dude.
It's in good. I got it cheap. They are expensive on the internet. If you mess around with a little vintage Pistons merch, and I do.
But I love it. I love the sentiment. It's an incredible shirt. Also, I will say this like straight up. I think the Lakers are my least favorite franchise. Like,
you were saying more so than Celtics.
More so than Celtics. Like
Yeah.
I don't like Boston fans for the most part, but I respect the Boston Celtics as a team. There are players in that team. I'm like, wow, they're really doing something. I don't love players. There are players like on the Lakers that I actively dislike, and there are players that I straight up don't think are too good. And go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just gonna say one of the few players I do. They have two players I like. I like Laravian Knights, obviously.
Okay, you know who doesn't like Laravian Knights is Lakers fans right now.
I know that
they not a fan.
Well, he's cheap and he plays defense and he can three, although he hasn't been hitting the three lately. So it's been a rough season for him. So maybe he should have come to Detroit instead. I also like LeBron James. Straight up, I do. I like LeBron James. I think he's a good player. I think he's one of the best of all time. And the dude is older than me and putting up insane numbers still. Like, yeah, he was held scoreless. Did he end up with a triple-double yesterday? At least a rebound away from
close, really close, I think. I forget if he actually got it, but these are stats in an L. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's very fair. But like, there are a lot of players in the Lakers I just don't like. I don't like JJ Redick. I'll say it. I don't care for
what?
I don't care for JJ.
You don't for JJ Redick, the Duke star, been accused of all sorts of heinous shit. You don't find him incredibly likable? That is so weird.
Yeah, he's not my guy. But like, you know what? It just feels extra good to beat them every time and to sweep them. You know, like I don't think the Pistons will see them again this season. I don't think the Lakers are making it out. There's talk of them being like a contender, but like I just straight up don't see it. The defense isn't there. The defense is so suspect that like there's no way that it's happening. Not to poo-poo on like the Lakers as a whole. I see when you see a team without Cade Cunningham and playing a team with all their stars, and the team without Cade wins. It's just different tiers.
There was I hear you, by the way, and I don't love that Boston spams threes, but like Missoula's a psycho, and they have players I really like. I love, as we all know, I love Derek White. They have a really nice defensive infrastructure. I like some of their younger guys who have gotten better. Walsh, Hugo,
Baylor Shireman. I wanted Baylor Shireman in the draft so bad. I knew he wasn't going to get to the second round, but like
Garza just dropped a 30 piece, I think. I actually think he
favorite Garza, yeah.
Luke Garzilla, baby. But no, I find the Lakers incredibly unlikable. It's not just the storied Pistons Lakers 04, 89, 90 stuff. It's also the fact that now they are as guilty of foul baiting as any star. Luka, if you consider Austin Reeves a star, he's certainly just the amount of free throws these guys get is ridiculous.
And foul crying on top of it.
Oh, like the whining. It's so LA though. It's so perfect, but it's just such a, in the same way that Detroit's grittiness and hardworking ethic and like rough and tumble shit like is emblematic of the city, so is LA's whining and I want free shots at the line. Nothing people in LA love more than free shots.
Well, I mean, no one can afford shots in LA at this point with the industry tanked out and whatnot. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that the Pistons players don't complain about not getting fouls too. Cade complains about it all the time.
Yeah, but he actually doesn't get calls.
He literally doesn't get them.
He's one of the most drivingest lead guards and whatever.
And he gets a ton of contact on two, like on top of it as well. But like literally every call, every play, Luke is talking to the referees about it, and it's like it's infuriating. I had the Lakers broadcast. The broadcast was calling for fouls on like every play, and I'm like, can we just let this go? Then the fans today, all over my Instagram, it's Lakers fans complaining about the whistle, and I'm like, You guys got more free throws. Luka got a phantom 3. You guys got 3 3-pointers called for fouls. They're like, you can't have everything called. And would you want to? Is that what you're a fan of? Are you a fan of free throws? If you're a fan of free throws, go watch my grandpa at the YMCA. He just, he doesn't play, but I don't, actually, my grandparents aren't alive anymore, but you get what I'm saying? Old people like doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Go to YMCA, shoot the free throw, get it in. All in all, it's just, they have a vibe that I don't fuck with all that much. And I'm so happy to feel connected to this Pistons team. I don't know if it is homerism or what, or if I'm just feeling the vibes of this country right now, the 1% versus literally everybody else, that whole thing on top of it. I don't know if it's from reading the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Shout out if you haven't read it. It's a great fucking series. Really
in
awesome.
His lit RPG bag, baby.
That's right, man. Or Red Rising. I don't love that series as much, but it's the same general vibe as well. There's something about
you love
this sort of
stats,
character.
no matter what it is. You love your stats.
I sure do. it's how it is. So it's just nice, and it's nice to end that streak, and it's nice to like reestablish the mindset that this Pistons team is special and for real and deep as shit. And it was important for us as fans to remember that. It was more important for Daniss Jenkins to remember that, because it must have been tough for him in that little slump that he was going through, and to have him back with what, a 20-point damn near triple-double and now a 30-point damn near triple-double. That's exciting. It's just exciting.
Yeah, love him or hate him. King James was saying after the game, they're young, they play hard, they're well coached. And I just think they're really, like, with Cade going down, they're playing for something. They keep saying all the right stuff about how, as nice as their regular season performance has been, their eyes are on the postseason. And I think just seeing how they're taking this seriously and accepting the reality, not to repeat myself, just of, we might not have Cade for some of the playoffs, so we're going to have to figure out what this team looks like without him. Yeah, to your point too about LA complainers, I mean, I was just whining about how it's, 80 degrees in March, but there was in the Athletic /
morning, by the way.
Yeah. But there was a piece in the Times or Athletic about, even though the Lakers broke their streak, this is a good sign. Basically a moral victory piece going up against a Cadeless, Stewless Pistons.
Unbelievable.
It's pretty wild. But the point is, winning or losing, the Lakers are always going to be a story. They're always going to talk about, they talked about the Lakers every week, even when they sucked. So, like, really sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those teams. And it's also just amazing how that article didn't even, I think everybody just wants to chalk up the everyone on the West Coast wants to chalk up the Daniss game to a fluke. But we know he's like that. He knows he's like that. And I hope this is sort of a return of the chip on his shoulder, because I think that's kind of his superpower.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got the belt. He's carrying that thing around, and deservedly so. Just like really incredible stuff coming out of him. I want to give another shout out to another player, not to shift away from Daniss here, but there is another player that I think who is, for the majority of his Pistons tenure, people have been like, why? Like, I don't expect too much from him. And I've been.
Can I guess?
You may. Who is it?
Kevin Huerter?
It's Kevin Huerter, dude.
Yeah.
Kevin Huerter has been, I don't want to say a revelation is like way too far to say, but Kevin Huerter's cutting has been exceptional for this team, like really, really good. He's starting to hit threes, not like at an amazing rate, but when he first got traded to the team, it was insane how bad the 3-point was. Now it's like, okay, he's starting to make some threes. He can hit these threes, and he's taking them with confidence. He's taking good looking threes on top of it, and he's making some of them. Great. But the cutting has been good, and the defense, that's what I want to talk about. The defense from Kevin Huerter has been way better than I expected it to be. Red Velvet is the truth, Deck Toad says. I've retired the Marlboro Red nickname. That's gone. He's back to Red Velvet, the dessert, the delicious cake with the cream cheese frosting. I'm liking it. There were times when he got switched onto from like Asar, and it didn't make that much of a difference. I'm not saying that he's anywhere near as good as Asar. I'm just saying it wasn't like, oh, you can hunt this guy on D. And that That's nice to have.
He does a lot of I think he does more right than wrong. He reads those passing lanes like you read Dungeon Crawler Carl. He's got those active hands. He's good for a steal or two a game. Who would you want if you were forced to cut one of Karras or Kevin Huerter in a playoff series right now? Who's it going to be?
Kevin Huerter, who? Karras?
Yeah,
Kevin Huerter.
Yeah,
sorry,
I think so too.
Like, we're talking about responsibility. Karras from the three, he's actually been shooting pretty decent from the corner. Like, he's a 39% shooter, and he can get a bucket. But it's just Karras is more likely to make a mistake than I think Huerter is at this point. What up, Ibrahim? In the chat, what's good, fellas? Also, Richard Diemfort said he thought I was going to say Bobby Klitman because he's exceptional at rolling imaginary blunts on the bench when someone hits a three. Seriously though,
send me the clip. Send me the clip.
If you can get that clip, Richard, send it to. Are we ordertheblazing horse@gmail.com? Is that right?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay, at ordertheblazing horse@gmail.com.
Hit us on Blue Sky. Send it wherever. We that's amazing.
I'd love to see it. I haven't seen that. Is he like Ali G with the one hand in the opening of his show? Do you remember that, Mick? Did you ever watch that show?
I did, but it's been forever.
So in the beginning of the Ali G show, he'd stand and he'd have his arms apart, and then there was like some fast motion thing, and a blunt would just like roll up really quick in one of his hands. And I always tried to learn how to do that back in my college days, but no bueno.
Never got there. It just made a big mess.
Yeah. A lot of flour on the ground.
Wasted a lot of weed.
And back then it was expensive, bro.
Yeah, I love hearing that about Bobby Klitman though, because that's intangibles right there. That's morale stuff.
Blunty Klitman out here.
Yeah.
Just rolling them up. Ibrahim says 25-26 Pistons shaping up to be a memorable season. Hell yeah, it is.
That is what they promised Blaha.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Cade promised Blaha when they found out it was his 50th. They said, we're going to make it one to remember. And I agree.
Oh, hell yeah.
They have certainly done that. And I just love hearing that they're not satisfied with a hot regular season. They want to make a run, baby.
You asked me about the Huerter and Karras situation. Where do you stand on that? Like in the rotation?
I brought it up. I was leading you because I feel and like some of this is eye test because sometimes Karras gets hot. Yeah. Karras can be very good or very bad. I feel like the highs with him are higher, the lows with him are lower. Kevin's steadier. Mm-hmm. And I just want that. I don't want to be like, I don't want to sweat through my vintage Pistons t-shirt. I don't want to soak this thing. I don't know how many washes it's got left. But
you got to turn it inside out, bro.
Yeah. Look, Karras has surprised me a lot, but like, I think that's sort of the point, is that it is surprising. And to be clear, I doubt very much. I mean, unless we're just sort of in this trial period where we're seeing who deserves a playoff spot. But yeah, I like Kevin because I think he just makes good decisions and like has really active hands and is really, really nice touch around the rim. And desperate. And by the way, so does Karras. Karras has nice touch around the rim. I also just think even when Kevin's shots aren't falling, the selection is better.
Yes.
To sort of your point earlier. Yeah, heart attack LeVert, man. He sometimes is
cardiac
really
Harris.
Cardiac Harris. There it is. Found it. Yeah, it's just gonna destroy me during the. I've already got some gray hairs, man. It's just gonna be real, more salt than pepper. You know what I'm saying?
I think for what it's worth, that improves flavor a little bit, more salt than pepper.
Oh yeah, but, like yeah. You want a little sodium blast? Yeah.
I feel like Huerter's actually been entering the game before Karras lately, and that I think that's something. And I think also with this Daniss leap that we're getting back here, if Daniss can play out the rest of the regular season like this and through the playoffs like this, it's gonna make Karras's minutes less important because part of what he offers is ball handling, right? And
well, I guess
he does. Like it's there. He passes pretty well and he does handle the ball. So Deck Toad says Karras low-key has been playing better lately. That's true.
Yes.
He thinks the more Daniss can play true point off the bench, the better role Karras is in. That's also probably true. And we're going to be seeing these guys. I want to see more Green than either of those two dudes, Karras and Kevin. No shade to either of them. I just think Javante's been exceptional, and I think it's
Yeah.
being rewarded. And he's been with the team for longer, and he's got the best 3-point stroke out of everybody. So that's what I would like. So that do you want to talk about who you think the playoff rotation is going to be, or like where it's going to stand a little bit here?
Yeah, and not to walk back what I was saying about Kevin versus Karras, but you have to also admit that Karras has the ability to get hot, which is something that like on ball hot.
Yeah.
Which is, Javonte Green isn't, going to be taking a lot of dribble pull-ups, doing a lot of stuff off the dribble.
Hopefully not any.
No, but he, spot up in the corner. Like you said, the stroke looks really good, but Karras has been playing better. It's just, sometimes it's such a roller coaster. The highs are high and the lows are low. Okay. So you want to talk about playoff roster? Hold on. We got a novel from DM, but let's peep that. I gotta put
first. Let's say Ibrahim wants to know who came up with Careless Levert, the Careless Levert nickname.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I guarantee someone on Twitter did it.
Yeah. Or Reddit. That feels very Reddit.
Oh man, Reddit. Richard DM for it says Karras has a bit more explosive potential and a better point of attack defender than Kevin, but Kevin almost always makes the correct play, and he's more plug and play with the team's offense. I agree, and that's why I prefer him in the playoff rotation. Is just like I don't want a hole. I want a steady foundation in there if possible from a role player.
I agree. Like it's similar to Javonte Green, but not as strong defensively.
Right.
But offering more scoring, like in the mid range, around the rim, and sometimes from deep.
He's a better cutter. And Javonte can cut okay, but I implore you, when you're watching the games, watch how Kevin cuts through the paint and gets rewarded for doing so. It's great. It's really nice to see happening. And I mean, he's been pretty good in transition lately too. He's had a couple dunks. I actually thought he got fouled on his one transition dunk yesterday. They didn't call it, no big deal, because apparently they missed a lot of calls on both sides, and that's fine. Like I don't really care.
Can't call everything.
But it is what it is. But I think there are some guarantees for who's going to be in the Pistons playoff rotation. If let's say Cade's healthy, let's just assume Cade plays, because I think that's probably what we're leaning toward right here. If he just
at least part of the first round,
right?
At least,
and I think we expect Stu back by then as well. So the starting five is going to play. The starting five is going to be Cade, Duncan, Asar, Tobias, Duren.
Yep.
Then Stu is for sure going to play. There's just no doubt about it. I think Ron Holland is for sure going to play.
He did last year. I don't see why he wouldn't this year.
I think Daniss is for sure going to play.
Yep.
Ooh, Ibrahim thinks that Ron Holland might lose his rotation. I don't think so. The defense is too good. Like it's just too exceptional to have him come in. He can body up some big people out there. The steals are great. He gets into transition. He can explode. He's a momentum changer. That's important stuff. That's his intangible skill to me. And on top of the defense, like being great, just like with his hands and whatnot, the dude draws offensive fouls like crazy. He whips his head so right on those picks.
You could argue he flops. You could argue you could definitely argue it because he got called for a violation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he made the face afterward. You got to get called for that fucking violation. So he be mugging, as we said. He's very duck hunt dog.
Did I do that?
Shout out to Urkel. So I think he's in. I guess you can make the argument that he wouldn't be in. I think he's in, and then that leaves. So that's what, like. Do we say Javonte too? So that's 9 players.
I don't think we had said Javonte yet, okay, but I agree.
So that's Javonte. Now the question there is, if you want to put Ron Holland into this equation of like the rotating people, how big do you want your rotation to be? Do you want it to be 9? Do you want it to be 10? Do you want it to be 11? If it's 9, that's your 9. If it's 10, who is it? Is it Karras or Kevin? And if it's 11, is it all 3 of those guys?
Well, I think just the fact that we're even talking about, first of all, I do think we will have a 10-man rotation in the playoffs, because I think that for lack of, third option, really, we have depth,
Mm-hmm.
and that's sort of going to be one of our weapons in the playoffs. Like, it's Cade, it's Duren, and it's, I mean, everyone else. But the fact that they just have a bunch of, that's what other teams talk about when they play us. Like, that was the story against the Lakers. Some people compared us to OKC a little bit, not in terms of like they're definitely going to win the championship, but just holy shit, they just keep finding these guys. Our buddy Doug, he's a Knicks fan, and he's like, when Daniss showed up, he was just miserable because they have another guy who can do all this stuff. But I would be
He did
stunned.
text us that too
Yeah,
during the game.
Daniss' face haunts his dreams. That snarl. But yeah, I would be stunned if it's less than 10, and I honestly would be stunned if Paul Reed doesn't make any appearance.
He's gonna play.
He's gonna play. So what's that? 11?
That's 12.
That'd
be 12.
So does do the things you like Karras to do not matter as much if it's that crowd? Like, do you need someone? I guess if Daniss is struggling to score, or if the bench is struggling, but I would like to have the sort of problem here is that everyone describes Karras as a rhythm player, a guy you need to play to get going. So if to me it's the difference of 15 to 20 minutes or no minutes in the playoffs, I would probably say no minutes.
I agree.
Because that's the long, it could serve you, but it could bite you in the ass. So that's sort
we've
of
seen
where
like his best games this season have been when he's got the most minutes. Shout out to Deck Toad and Ibrahim, who both say it feels like it's gonna be 8 or 9. Usually playoffs shrink down 8 or 9 for contenders. Honestly, JB has been experimenting all year, and he can deploy all things. Deck Toad says might be a sign that we may really that we really are in evaluation if we run 10 men, which is consistent with everything Trajan has said and done. The other thing is this: I think a lot of contenders, when they are running 8 to 9 guys, the depth doesn't contribute the same way that this Pistons team depth does. And a lot, it's not like they have redundancies for the most part on this Pistons team in the depth. It's like, okay, what do we want to have working right now? This player works this player works this player does this sort of angle. I think depth is actually to their advantage. I think there's a somewhat strong likelihood that the rotation doesn't change at all from what it's been in the regular season.
That would be extremely Bickerstaff to me, and I don't even mean that in a bad way. And I agree with you guys that typically it's 8 or 9 for contenders, but I think the way that this team is coached and the way the roster is constructed might make it an outlier in that way, because we don't have a lot of two-way guys. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of specialists, and that's been working. I mean, we've been winning a lot of these games by single digits, so we haven't been clobbering teams, but we do find a way to win. And I just thinking about it, we foul a lot and we get fouled a lot. So let's say Duren gets fouled a lot. You have the depth of Stu and Reed behind him, so he can still play really hard. And, even if he racks up 3 to 4 fouls, there's guys behind him who can fill in the blanks. Asar, if he starts to foul a lot, you have Ron and Javante who can be, really aggressive defensively. Cade starts fouling a lot. You got Daniss and kind of Cade can't foul a lot. That's. But I think it's sort of, we're different than traditional contenders in terms of the way we're built. I agree. What do you think?
I agree completely. And I mean, like, people have been begging this team to like get a second guy, and it looks like Duren's their second guy right now this season, but like a secondary ball handler and stuff. And this team, I mean, like, they're what, 9-2 without Cade Cunningham this year. They're 9-2 without Cade Cunningham this year. That's
wow. I thought it's 9-2 now.
I think it's 9-2 after last night. It's like it's just crazy that they're able to pull this off by being that deep. And like on top of it, like, if you're playing that deep, that means that you're not running your guys into the ground while you're playing, which means you risk less injury, which this team is currently dealing with. So maybe that's the thing. So the Ibrahim, Deck Toad, and Richard all think it might be 8 or 9 or 10. In the chat, tell us, we know outside of the starting 5, tell me who your next 3 are, who your next 4 are, and who your next 5 are. I want to hear what you guys think should be the 8/9/10 man rotation. I think we're all in agreement, though, that it's likely not going to include Marcus Sasser, Bobby Klintman, the guy we
Blunt roll
drafted this year,
Bobby?
Chaz Lanier,
Yeah.
and Isaac Jones, I guess. Like, I don't think those guys are going to break through into the playoffs. I don't think any of those guys will get playoff minutes, barring like some insane injury thing going on.
If Karras and Kevin Herter get hurt, Sasser might play.
Right. But that's two depth pieces going down.
And those guys are healthy and Sasser is currently hurt.
Correct.
So
right.
That's a several ifs.
So it's like it just doesn't feel like that's going to happen. I think it could go as deep as 12. Ibrahim says Stu, Ron, Herter, Karras, Javante as the next 5. So he's got a 10-man rotation.
Sorry, I'm going to look at those again. Stu, Ron, Herter, Karras, Javante.
What about Daniss? You don't have Daniss in there?
Ooh. That's interesting.
And then Deck Toad says, does anyone remember how many guys the Pacers played? You make a good point that our depth is one of our best assets. I don't remember how many the Pacers played. To be honest, I barely remember like who they had in that series. I just remember them winning so many like crazy comeback games and whatnot, and a lot of Tyrese doing the choke emoji and whatnot. Ibrahim says, "Oh, Daniss, see, that's 6. Now you're up to 6. If you forgot about the GOAT, so that's the 11-man rotation that we're talking about, right?"
Yeah,
I think it's tough, and my other thing is like
it's really tough.
What if it ain't broke? Why change it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure these guys will play like fewer minutes. Like, I bet Cade will play more minutes. I bet Asar will play more minutes. I bet Duren will play more minutes. But I think that might be it for the more minutes guys.
Yeah, well, and like it's not to talk in circles about it, but it's not like it's a steep drop off in terms of talent because they all provide different things. But how much worse is Javante Green than Caris LeVert? How much better is Ron Holland than Caris LeVert? Like these, there's our top guys, and then there is kind of everyone else, and they all contribute things, and they all do things well, but there's not. I think that shorter rotation is for teams that have, they pay more people. I think they're for teams in the first apron and stuff. Which we are not.
So Deck Toad says Stu, Daniss, and Javante are who I think would be the next 3, and that Ron, Red Velvet, and Karras are currently fighting for the 9th spot. Here's what I want to say about that. They are invested in Ron Holland. They cannot afford to not play Ron Holland in the playoffs. He's going to play. But if they need 3-point shooting, then they also have to play those other 2 dudes, one of those other 2 dudes. Not that they're great 3-point shooters, but they're at least somewhat of a 3-point threat. Richard DM for it says Jenkins, Ron, Stu are his next 3, and then flex the 2 of Kevin, Karras, Javante, Beeple. Javante has to get minutes. He's this team's like one of their best defenders,
balanced players. Yeah,
one of their best 3-point shooting players.
I mean, he's the only 3-and-D guy.
Correct. He's in. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Beeple Paul will probably play sparing minutes, like if somebody gets injured or if there's foul trouble on the big man front. That's my guess. And then Kevin Karras, who knows? They just feel like this kind of wing role. So like I get where everyone's coming from. As far as these 3, it's just if you don't play those guys, then I guess you could play more Duncan if you want more 3, but he's kind of a defensive liability, not like a terrible one. See, this is tough.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just saying Ibrahim says, man, this is tough. So what were you saying, Mickey?
That in game 1 of the finals versus OKC, the Pacers played 10 guys.
10 guys in the finals.
And they won that game. So it's interesting.
I think we should prepare ourselves for all these guys.
I certainly expect it. And, sometimes I think for better or for worse, JB doesn't deviate a whole lot. I mean, you'll see him try things, but I think he likes to stick with what works. And whether you agree with that or not, I think what you see is what you get a lot of the time. So I would be stunned if it gets shortened to 8, 9, or even 8. especially 8. It would be shocking for me because I just don't know. It is hard. It is hard, and I also just think like B-ball Paul is really good.
He's really good.
Basketball.
Who do you, Ron Howland? That's the Ron Howland quote. Paul's really good.
Paul Reed is very good at basketball. Yeah.
Richard,
and I'm not just saying that because he went to my
house. Richard says, I just hope we don't end up with top 8 plus Karras. I don't think we will, even though that's like 9. I think that's unlikely just based on skill set. And Decto says, okay, I'm convinced it'll be 10. The competition between Red Velvet and Karras. Then I think if there is 10, that is what the competition is. And right now, Red Velvet's kind of winning out that battle a little bit. So we'll see. The other reason to play these guys in the playoffs, you want to see what they can contribute in the playoffs when it comes down to it, because Red Velvet's a free agent next year, so we don't know if he's going to come back or not. Karras will be an expiring deal next year. We don't know if he's coming back or not. Javante is expiring this year, so we don't know if he's coming back or not. Like I said, Ron, you're invested in him. You got to see what you've got coming out of him. Daniss, he's your only other backup point guard. You got to see what's going on there. So there's a reason to see what we can get out of these dudes. I mean, there's reason to see what you're going to get out of Tobias Harris in the playoffs and what you're going to get out of Duncan Robinson in the playoffs as well. Duncan is essentially on an expiring, and Tobias is done after this year.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought up Duncan, because one of the things people talk about a lot is him getting hunted. And let's say in first couple games of our round 1, that is happening a lot. You need to replace Duncan Robinson in the starting lineup. Who are you replacing him with?
Daniss Jenkins. Like, straight up. But my order is Daniss, Javante, and those might be the options. Daniss and Javante.
Okay, I think Daniss is definitely closing games with Cade, like how Schroeder did. I think I would go Javante, because you preserve Daniss for the bench. You get 3, and you don't get the volume that you get from Duncan. But if they're going to leave Javante open in the corner, he's probably going to knock it down and not be a cone. If what you're lacking is defense, because I could see them moving Daniss to the starting lineup, but I almost feel like that would be if Cade's just getting double the ton and we need another handler, which these problems might be parallel, like they could be the same problem. But I think Javante, or if Kevin Huerter's shot starts falling more, I think he could be an option. But right now I trust Javante's 3-ball more.
People are going to hate this. My third choice would maybe be Karras. And that, like,
well, if you start Daniss, you're getting Karras minutes.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, like, as far as a starting option, I wouldn't be super opposed to considering starting Karras LeVert, because he can handle and because he can shoot the 3 and because he can score. Like, he can get his own bucket. Javante's not going to generate his own bucket. Daniss will generate his own bucket. He's a little liability defensively, not a huge liability defensively. Karras is bigger, and his defense isn't so bad.
He's got good hands. He just sometimes bad fouls, bad shot selection. But on the catch and shoot, I feel like that's when Karras gets really hot. Right. Or when he takes a shot that I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he just rips it.
Right.
Like, that's the Karras version.
But how much more ball dominant is he going to be if he's starting next to Cade? Like, he's not, right? He's going to be a situational ball handler. So some of the stuff that we don't like about Karras might get negated. If Duncan's getting hunted, my guess for who will start would probably be Karras. But if it's Daniss, Karras, or Javante, I'm open to seeing it.
Yeah.
Ibrahim says it's just turnovers. We need a point guard playing with Karras at all time. And there you go. That solves that problem, right? So, like, I think fans would lose their mind if Karras was starting, but I don't think it would be a terrible decision.
We see minutes where Karras isn't playing with the ball handler all the time, though, because I think JB perceives him as a ball handler.
Yeah.
Whether we agree about that or not is, it doesn't really matter, but I agree. I mean, I think that's a problem. I think that, I like Karras as a pure scorer and fine defender.
Yeah.
Like, but the three doesn't always fall, and the shot selection is crazy. And sometimes he racks up 3 turnovers in a quarter, and I'm like, what is happening?
3 turnovers in like 3 possessions.
Yeah.
It's so nuts. But it could happen. I think we've essentially covered the rotation thing pretty well. We're rounding into the final section here. So, Mickey, I wanted to ask you about this. When we're looking at the playoff picture, the Pistons are going to get the 1 seed. I think that's probably locked up. It's not locked up, but we have 11 games to go. They have a 5-game lead.
They have to win, I think, like 5 more games to really keep it.
Yeah.
Like to fend off the Celtics.
I think they have an outside chance of actually winning 60 games, which would require winning 8 of these next 11. I think it's possible. People are going to be like, Atlanta's been so hot. Look at the teams that Atlanta beat in that streak. It is that's a tank lover's dream. That's
March, baby. That's March.
It's nuts. And it is March. Yeah, crazy March, right? So I think they could take that game. Minnesota's without Ant Edwards. And Minnesota's been like weird all year. I can't believe number 1 seed either. It's so crazy. Happy that we're here. Boston's got a tough
it's important to appreciate that, by the way, because that's, I think we're all guilty of, oh, are we real contenders? Oh, what's going to happen? Are we going to make it to the conference and are the first seed? I don't think that gets said enough. This is a Homery podcast, but I also will add in that the Celtics are playing the Thunder tomorrow. So that's interesting.
If the Celtics lose, it's going to be a nearly insurmountable stretch to recover. So let's just assume they're the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
The teams currently hovering around the play-in for the Eastern Conference. There are, like, let's call it 5 teams that are currently in this play-in situation. Are the Charlotte Hornets? They're at 10. Who's 9? Is it Philly? Is it Philly dropped?
It's the Heat currently.
The Heat are at 9. Philly.
Magic, then Sixers.
Magic, and then Sixers, and then the team that's just ahead of all of them is Atlanta right now. Yeah. So that's the bottom 5 in here, and they're all within range of each other. It's all pretty close. Although I think Charlotte's like 2 games or 3 games back of 9.
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
So it's correct. You're likely facing Charlotte after they win 2 games, or either Orlando or Philly or Miami. Out of all those teams, and I want the chat to answer, but Mickey, I want your answer first. Philly. Out of all those teams,
Philly.
Philly's who you want the most. Yes, after Brian came on here.
Well, they're destroyed. They're really, unless even with a healthy Maxey, I don't really want to play the Hornets or the Heat. I think the Heat are just, I think we should beat the Heat, but they're just a tough matchup, and Spo is a really good coach.
Yep.
I like us against the Magic. I still really like us against the Hawks, to be honest. But I don't think they'll be the 8th seed. Like, would they have to lose and then win?
Yeah. So the 8th seed is they'd have to play in that first play-in game and then lose, and they'd have to win the next one, or they'd have to fall all the way back to the 9.
I might say the Hawks, because healthy Maxey, if they can somehow get healthy Embiid and Paul George, are we assuming these teams are all healthy? I guess, because I think okay, well then in that case I'm going to stick with Philly, but I think even a healthy Hawks teams, I think we're good.
I agree. I think my ranking of teams I'd like to play is maybe, I think it's Philly 1, Atlanta 2, but it's pretty close there. Orlando 3, Charlotte 4, Miami 5. That's my order for.
You'd rather play Charlotte than Miami?
Yeah, I think we're kind of overstating the Charlotte situation here a little bit. We have to remember this team is still the 10 seed right now.
Yeah,
they still haven't climbed. They had that hot streak in the middle. They can shoot the 3. That's great. So can Boston. A lot of teams can shoot the 3. They cannot stop Durant. There's
they kind of remind me of Indiana last year, where just they're getting really hot late, they're playing really fast, and they're shooting the 3 really well. But that took Indiana pretty far. So I'm not saying I think they're comparable, but I get those vibes. I think Charles Lee's done a really nice job.
He's a great coach. The team has some talent.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think I'd still probably rather play them than the Heat, but it's close. It's because there's also that Kalel Ware Bam combo. Like that's a crazy front court.
Kalel's been not great lately, but
but he's big.
He's big. He does block shots.
He protects the rim. He can shoot threes, and Bam can shoot threes now, and will clearly.
They have a more effective front court than the Hornets do. Like just straight up, the Heat can bang with the Pistons when it comes to the front court. The Hornets cannot, and the Pistons' bread and butter is scoring in the paint, like just straight up. Hornets are also young. He'd have been there. Like Heat tend to have playoff success.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Richard brings up that Toronto could fall into the play-in. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't mind playing them, but I don't think it's going to happen. Richard also says he always bets against 76ers health, and he agrees with Mickey about Miami. Ibrahim says Philly's sitting all their players till the playoffs. I think they're sitting all their players because they can't play right now. On top of it, he says Richard says the Hornets story is cute, but we'll handle them. Ibrahim says Hornets want to fight us. They have a grudge, bro. Yeah, they do, but it's going to cause them to make mistakes. And just because they want to fight doesn't mean anything's going to happen out of it. Like they
something might happen.
Yeah, someone might. But like,
historically,
do you think if the Pistons do not have Cade Cunningham, they could beat all those teams in a series?
I think they could be like 6-7 game series, but I think they absolutely have a shot to beat all of them.
I agree. I think they should be the favorite in every one of those. 1, home court advantage. 2, more rest. 3, in all of those, save for Bam, Jalen Duren is the best big, right? And I think he's even better than Bam right now.
I think Daniss and not in that order, but Daniss and Duren become the 2 most important factors.
And Asar
for us there.
Let's not forget Asar.
Yeah.
Like,
but you know what though? I think Asar is going to be great on defense. No matter our issue isn't defense. Our issue is scoring the ball.
Right. But I'm just saying, if you consider Asar, he will take out whoever's best offensive threat is, no matter what.
Yeah. So is that Con Knipple or he's going to be guarding LaMelo because he guards the primary handler.
Not always, because he wasn't guarding Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, and that almost
I actually think that game plan worked out pretty well because if you
but that is because Peyton Pritchard was the primary handler. That's why he was guarding Pritchard. I thought.
No, I guess that if that was the intention.
Right, he wasn't guarding the best player. He was guarding the guy who initiates the offense, so that it's even though Brown has the ball in his hands a lot, but he's not initiating really.
So let's say he's guarding LaMelo. Then that means you're not getting Knipple the opportunities to catch and shoot the way that he's had. He can still drain. There's no doubt about it. He can still drain, but it's not like the Pistons only have bad defenders outside of Asar.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I just think Asar is a bit of a constant, and I think Duren and Daniss fluctuate more and have monster games and have terrible games. So that's why I think those are. I'm not saying Asar is not important. I just don't expect Asar's not going to pop off for 25 points probably.
Right.
I don't expect that.
On the low, I kind of expect Duren to only have good games in the playoffs because it's not going to be like in the regular season where he's like, come on, it's not going my way. The playoffs fucking matter. You think he doesn't want to win a series like so bad? And he balled out last playoffs on top of it.
But the thing with Duren and the thing that was sort of the issue with him in the playoffs in the past, foul trouble. Foul trouble. That's what they're going to do. And he is going at other teams and getting them in foul trouble. But, the Wemby stuff, you can't get 4 fouls in the first half.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that. So that's how I agree. But I'm saying that's how other teams are going to try to take him out.
On the hope is that the playoffs will be less fouls called, right? While it's going on, we'll see. how it's going. I think his defense has been pretty good. Also, the hope is that you have Stu this year to back up. And on top of that, we have a more seasoned B-ball Paul on top of that as well. So like I expect him to be going through very well. I expect the fouls to be down for everybody. Deck Toad says same with the Star. They've both been a lot better this year, though, when it comes to fouls. I think if anyone's in foul trouble, it's probably going to be Ron Holland because he still doesn't have a good foul whistle in general. So we'll see. But I think even without Cade, the Pistons should be favored in all these series because they're just a deeper team and they just kind of have better players at this point.
Yeah. Plus I just think they really want this and everybody really wants it. But I think Cade being out, a lot of the other guys have a lot to prove. And even when Cade coming back, I think he knows that he's not going to get any real respect in the league until he starts doing it in the postseason. And I think they're determined to sort of change the narrative or like have there be a narrative at all, because apparently nobody takes the fact that the Pistons have the first seed seriously outside of Pistons fans.
Keep sleeping on us, bro. Keep sleeping on us. But don't sleep on the podcast, but make sure you like and subscribe to the show. We really appreciate the chat. The chat rules, yo. You guys are so great.
God.
Thanks for your participation.
Oh my God, breathing life into the show.
Thank you for talking the rotation out with us, and we're all hopefully coming to some sort of understanding about it. I got to go because I got to put the chickens to bed. The sun has gone down and the moon has gone up. And long ago, the chickens were left with the cup. Yeah, for my cake fans out there. Red Velvet. But we really appreciate you. Mick, you got anything you want to pump out before we get out of here?
I don't. Go see Rose. Go see your girls.
I will. Shout out Rose. Survived being eggbound and all that jazz. I hope they're doing well in the darkness out here. But with that, we'll end the show the way we always do by reading the acronym OOBH aloud, because that's how horse would talk anyway. If they could talk, not like in the ethereal world, but in the real world. That's how they'd say it. So as always, I've been Harry.
And I'm Mickey.